Welcome everyone. Let's begin our lesson for today by going over our learning goals and success criteria. Let's start by what are we learning? We're learning how to recognize coordinates in terms of x values and y values and how to plot points on the coordinate plane. How are we learning it? Through the coordinate plane part 2 notes and the coordinate plane part 2 assignment. When could you use the information in this lesson? You could use it to determine the location of appliances, furniture, and walls when planning to remodel your house. How do you know you learned it? By getting a score of 4 on the coordinate plane part 2 assignment. Now let's take a look at our agenda for today. We'll begin by going over our learning goals and success criteria. While we're doing that, you'll fill out your Get It Started. Once you've completed your Get It Started, we'll go over it together to answer any questions you may have. After that, we'll go over the coordinate plane part 2 notes. And then you'll have time to complete your coordinate plane part 2 assignment, which is on Desmos. Once you've completed the assignment, at the end, we'll go over it together and answer any questions you may have. And then at the end of class, we'll go back over our learning goals and success criteria while you fill out your before you go. Your only homework for tonight is to continue working on the linear equations and inequality study guide and complete any missing assignments that you may have. Let's take a look now at the coordinate plane part 2 notes. We begin here with our learning goals and success criteria. Now let's take a look at axes. So within the coordinate plane, we should notice that there's these lines that break up the x and y's. The axes are the thick lines that break up the positive and negative values. So if we look here, we have our x's here that go this direction, and we have our positives on this side and our negatives on this side. And they're broken up by this line here that represents the negative y's and the positive y's. So they break up each other and create positives and negatives in each of these boxes. The x-axis is the one that goes side to side. And it's usually labeled, but sometimes it's not. This is the x-axis that goes side to side. The y-axis is the vertical axis, the one that goes up and down. This is the y-axis that goes here. From that, we form what we call quadrants. Quadrants are these boxes that are created from the axes. So this is a box, this is a box, this is a box, and this is a box. And we label them I through IV, or 1 through 4. So this is quadrant 1 right here. This is where we begin. And then we go counterclockwise this way around to create the other boxes. So this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. Notice each quadrant represents positive or negative x values and positive or negative y values. So for instance, quadrant 1 represents positive x values and positive y values. Quadrant 2 represents negative x values and positive y values. Quadrant 3 represents negative x values and negative y values. And quadrant 4 represents positive x values and negative y values. Now, how do we plot points on the graph? Well, first of all, we're given ordered pairs. Ordered pairs are single components of a relation containing an x value and a y value. So what that means is we're given an x and a y. For instance, this is an ordered pair. -2, 3. So the way this works is my x goes first and then my y. If you have trouble remembering that, just remember that they go in alphabetical order. So x, then y. So my x is -2. So I'm going to go along the x-axis and find -2, which is here. And my y is 3. So I'm going to go along my y and go up to 3, right there. And I'm going to plot my point. That represents -2, 3. Then we have -4, -6. Well, -4 on my x-axis, so I'm going to go find -4 on the x's, right there. And then -6. So I'm going to go down and find -6, which is here, and plot that point. Then I have 5, 3. So x is 5, so I'm going to go and find where x is 5, which is here. And y is 3, so I'm going to go find 3, which is right there. And there's that point. And lastly, I have 1, -3, so x is 1, so I'm going to go find 1 on the x-axis, which is here, and -3 on the y-axis, which is here. And I plot that point, and now I have plotted all 4 of these ordered pairs. Now, part of this is being able to plot the points, but the other part of it is being able to recognize the points once they're already graphed. So in this case, I'm given some points and asked to find where those ordered pairs are. So let's look at A, which is here. Well, I can see that my x value is 1, 2, 3, and my y value is down 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's x equals 3, y equals -4. So that would be my point for point A. Then I can do point B. Point B is right here. So I went to the right 1, 2, so x is 2. Y is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would be at 2, 6. Then I find C. C is here. So that's -1, 2, 3, 4. And my Y is -1, 2. So C is -4, -2. Then I do D. D is right here. So that's -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And -1. So -5, -1. Then E. E is here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then -1, 2. So it would be 4, -2. Then F is here. So that's -1 and -1. And then G is here. So G is 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3, 5. And then H is here, which is -1, 2, 3, 4. So -4 and 1, 2, 3. So -4, 3. And so that's how I can look at graphs of coordinates and be able to figure out what their ordered pairs are. There's a video here now that shows you how to check your coordinates in Desmos. You can watch that as well. Let's talk now about how to check our work using Desmos. So on this one, we're going to look at graphing coordinates. So we're going to go to desmos.com and we're going to click on where it says Graphing Calculator. And this gives us the opportunity to now plot points. So we're going to check coordinates and make sure that we did our assignment correctly. So let's say that one of the points was at 9, 2. So we're going to go ahead and put in parentheses 9, 2. And notice it graphed the point for me right there. If I want to add another one, let's call this 8, 4. Again, there's my next point. So I can plot as many points as I need to just in this is by using this format of parentheses and then the x coordinate, y coordinate, and then closing the parentheses. And I can graph any points that I want. So -2, -5 puts the point right there. So I can graph as many of these points as I need to, and Desmos will do it for me. So that's how you can let Desmos check your work for you. Let's talk now about how to sign in to Desmos to complete your work. So what we're going to do is you're going to click on the link to go to the assignment, and it should take you to a page that looks kind of like this. And right here where it says sign in with Google, we're going to click there. And it's going to pop up with our email accounts. You're going to click on your school email account, and it should already have you logged in because you should have already been logged in using Google Classroom. From there, I'm just going to click Start the Activity, and it will take me into the assignment and allow me to begin. So that's how you will log in to Desmos using Google. Let's take a look now at the Coordinate Plane Part 2 assignment. So if you look at the top of the page, it begins with our learning goals and success criteria. We'll go ahead and scroll down, and there's a link here to the Desmos activity for today. So we'll go ahead and click on that link, and when we do that, it takes us to a page that looks like this. And we're going to go ahead and click Start the Activity. The assignment opens with our learning goals and success criteria again. We'll go ahead and click next. And it gives me a series of ordered pairs that it wants me to plot in different colors on the graph. So it says in blue, plot 0, 3. Well, I'm going to check my color. So right here it shows that it's blue. So I'm going to go to 0, 3. So X is 0, so I don't move side to side at all. My Y is 3, so I go up 3. And I'm going to go ahead and plot my point. I just click and notice it created a dot there. Then it says in green, plot -4, -6. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to click on this and change the color. I clicked on it, and now I'm going to click on that I want it green. And then I can click out. So now this one will create a green point. And I want -4, -6. So I'm going to go to the left 4 and down 6 and plot that point. Then it says in red, -2, 7. So I'm going to change the color again to red. And click out. Now I want -2, so X is -2, so to the left 2, and Y is 7, so up 7, right there. And I click to plot that point. Then I do the next one. The next one is in orange, and it's supposed to be 0, 0. So 0, 0 is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and plot that point. Then I'm in purple, so I'm going to change it to purple. In purple, we want 5, 9. So X is 5, Y is 9, right there. And the last one is in black, and it wants 6, -9. So I'm going to go 6 to the right, down 9, right there. There's 6, -9. So now I have all these points plotted on the same coordinate plane. Then we'll click next, and we'll move on to the next one. And we'll continue to do this. So we'll continue to answer questions. So this time now, notice this is 0 and this is 10, which means that each line, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines between 0 and 10. So if we divide 10 divided by 5, we get 2. So each one of these is 2. So this is 2. This is 4. This is 6. And so on. So we're always going up by 2. Each line represents 2 and not 1. So when we plot the points, so let's take a look at the green one here, for instance. We're going to go -7. So this is -2, -4, -6. -7 is going to be halfway between. So right there. And then my y coordinate is -19. So this is -2, -4, -6, -8, -10, -12. And halfway between would be -13. So it should be right there in the middle of that box. So you'll plot these points for that one. Then we'll click next again. And now for this one, we're using decimals in between. So this is 1.25, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. So if we divide 1.25 by 5, we get 0.25. So each one of these lines is 0.25. And we can still plot these points just the way we did on the previous slides. So that's what you'll be doing for this activity. Once you're done, you'll go back to your Google form. You'll click Next. This will send you to your Before You Go. You'll fill out your Before You Go and then submit your work on Google Classroom.